Roles of a denizen. A content creator is a user that creates posts and is rewarded based on the quality of their content. A content evaluator is a user that helps assess the quality of content and enforces community standards. The evaluator is effectively taking part in a marketplace to curate content and is rewarded for early evaluation. A content consumer is a user that wishes to find and consume the most valuable content in a given subject area or within a community. A lair owner is a person holding tokenized ownership of all or part of a community lair. Owners are rewarded with a portion of all mining activity happening within their lair. Owners are incentivized to build the best community of content creators and evaluators.
What is up, denizens? It is another Coffee with Den episode, number 13, I believe.
I think so.
We are back here with Gravity Crab and T-Swift or Die. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, everyone.
Top of the day to you. Well, for us anyway, depending on what type.
Welcome to Coffee with COVID.
Yeah, I have to ask, how's your COVID going, man? End of it, right?
I go from it's weird. I had a few really rough days when it started. The day that I saw you last was when it actually started. Last week, funnily enough, last Wednesday.
You know what? Pause. Hold that thought, because I just thought on the theme today. What is your current situation?
Oh yeah, that's right. What a good plug.
Yeah, what's your current situation with COVID?
Let's see. It started feeling like crap like a week ago when I saw you, and then that night I came home and I was not a person. I was just cold and shaky and sleeping. And that was 2 days of that, and then it's just been I'll be fine for hours. I'll just feel totally okay, and then I'll just tank, and all of a sudden it's oh, I feel kind of crappy, I want to lay down, and then I'll sleep for 18 solid hours. So that's been the whole damn thing. I've missed a day. There's a day missing in my life somewhere. When I texted you last night, oh crap, we have a show in the morning. I was convinced it was Monday yesterday.
Oh yeah, you sent me that message.
There's a day somewhere that's just gone.
Well, it was Martin Luther King Day on Monday, so right. A lot of people had that experience.
I forgot about
that. They were not expecting the long weekend, and then it showed up.
It just appeared.
Yeah. John, what's your current situation, my friend?
So I got to ask, since this is also coffee with Den, what is everybody drinking? Dave, I feel like you got some coffee. Gravity Crab, David, is that just straight urine from?
It's just straight piss. Yeah,
it's
my favorite.
It looks like either sweet tea or piss.
It is a gallon of sweet tea ordered from somewhere in town. I was thinking about going back to bed, but I might make some coffee actually.
Okay. I don't know. I got
haven't gotten there yet.
I decided it's been a while since I made a coffee drink. So I did it this morning really quickly. I made one of my cold brew looking things.
Good.
Oh, that's good.
Well, it's great. Your screen actually froze for a second there, I think, and it was just a snapshot.
Here, we have a nice advertisement of it.
And then I've got this little bad boy. Little coffee.
What the hell is that glass?
It's a little coupe glass.
That's cool.
But it's a little coffee espresso martini. I decided to go with this morning. Start the day off on the right foot.
Start the day off like James Bond would.
Feeling fancy.
I watched No Time to Die the other day, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is that the new one, or is that?
Yeah, that's the new one.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I haven't either. I need to. Daniel Craig was a very good Bond, so
I've
it's
been
worth
watching some of the older ones recently. In fact,
apparently, On Her Majesty's Secret Service is an excellent, underrated one. I haven't watched it yet.
Don't know,
but. And then I guess what else is going on for me besides my coffee situation?
Take sip of coffee.
Yeah,
that's where I am today. I don't know about y'all. David's dragon with COVID. John's
dying.
Doing fine. And I've got I don't know, I'm a coffee cup person. I don't know about you guys, but I have way too many coffee cups. Speaking of coffee, this one's you probably can't read it or anything, but there's it's German to English translations.
Oh.
So I'm lazy about studying and learning my wife's native language, so I figured if I just stare at it for a while, I can absorb it, right?
If you sleep with the coffee cup under your pillow, actually, you'll. That's how I used to study.
Just absorb it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
then,
also why he never got past the 4th grade.
I'm real stupid. Y'all should not have me on this show.
Shit.
I actually have I've got an improv show tonight too that I'm doing online. So I'm excited about that.
I was so bummed out because I remembered about like getting a ticket and everything for your show last week after I was already sick. So I was laying in my chair here and I was like, I looked at the clock and it was like 10:45. I was like, God damn it, I couldn't even do that today.
Well, it's the same link, so you don't have to buy another
I don't even have to get another ticket.
It's the same link every week.
You posted that in the reply section of last week's episode too, like links to that show, how to watch it. Cool. So if John doesn't do that again this week, you'll go look at last week's and find the links on there.
I'll do it again this week. I actually had a show Monday that was pretty funny, and I posted it in the humor section.
Oh yeah,
thinking no, but like it would just get on there and like whatever would happen, like I don't know, and like somebody saw it and like responded, and that, like so that was funny, and like that. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Nice. Dopamine hit. Somebody appreciates it. Yeah, it can be. Sometimes it can be difficult. Some of the layers are a little bit less active than others, obviously.
Yeah.
And you know that's just kind of like everyone. At least, well, if everyone's like me, which of course they are, right? It kind of goes in spurts where I get active for a while and then I'm just like distracted for a while. And eventually with like more users that come in, that asynchronicity will sort of all blend together because you'll have people in different time zones that are active at different times, and hopefully it livens up.
Yeah.
Speaking of layers though, we did just end an LCP. So we have a winner. And once again, the same winner was for both categories. So we had one from each, lore and unique voters. That is lore being the most votes, because you can vote more than as many times as you want, basically, as much points as you have. So one of them is however much lore gets committed. And the other one is individual voters. And we had 69 unique voters for the current situation, which means the current situation is nice. Runners up. So this is where next week we're actually going to have two winners from the unique voter section instead of just one, because we've run into a couple of things. One where it's like the same one wins both categories, and then people have been also paying a fee. If you're in the first like 5 runners up, you can pay a fee in Matter to create it, and so that's been happening a lot. So there's demand, and then so next month we're actually going to do the top 2 by unique voters. So if that were the case this time, you would have seen both current situation and Axie Infinity would have won. Axie would be interesting. I don't play this game, but I know it's got a very big following, so that could be interesting. Do you want to? Yeah, I do. I want to browse over the description here. So this is going to be something that I've been not great at. Is once a layer wins, we should open up a post in that layer saying, hey, what does everybody think the initial settings should be? Like the description of the layer, the reputation settings for like who can post videos and who can only post photos, or if that's even a thing we want, stuff like that. But let's see, what's the narrative here? Layer description. Sitting in traffic. Yes, current situation. This is like I find myself in this situation a lot where I'm just like sitting. Well, I've never been sitting in LA traffic before, but that kind of thing. Whether you're stuck in LA traffic, just bought a new house, fighting with your boss, sipping a martini at 11 Madison Park, scuba diving for sunken treasure, you can post it here. Sometimes your current situation just doesn't fit anywhere, and now there will be a dedicated space. Cool. So it's basically anything goes as long as it's a situation that you're in.
Yeah.
Maybe you're in the middle of a skydive and your parachute just stopped working. You pull out your phone and you're like, you know what, Ben? Here's the current situation.
Hmm.
So it's kind of an anything goes. We've got a few of those anything goes layers, don't we? So we've got random, we've got board, we've got current
I think
situation is more specific, but
advice is kind of in there. I think where it's just
mhm.
like, I need a thing. I got a sentence with a question mark at the end of it. Like, what do you think?
Right.
So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't mind them as much, especially like right now where things aren't really great in the more niche layers because nobody's in them, you know? So
That's
like
yeah.
having more general ones will at least make it easier for other people to interact in it.
That was a lot of the reason that we did the slow rollout like this, because one of the things that like you see it already on Den, even though there's a slow pace of new layers being rolled out, you see basically inactive layers all the time. And what we didn't want was to have this sprawl of anybody who wanted to could just fire up a layer. Like Reddit does that. If the name is not taken, you can just create a new subreddit and it's just boom, there you go. We didn't want to do that because we wanted to have, like you were saying, if you have all these niche things, there might be like 2 people in there talking about that one little niche thing in the beginning. Eventually, you'll have a bigger, uh, what's the word, audience. But right now, like we needed those big umbrella general layers so that more people had something that would fit in there.
Yeah.
All right. So sorry, I am I am some kind of tired today. I don't think that I caught COVID from you, David, when you were over here. I took a
I don't
test.
think so. You don't seem like it.
No, I don't think so. But I feel really tired.
Did you have one day where you wanted to jump off a bridge? Because if that didn't happen, then you're probably fine.
Well, that's just my mornings.
Get up in the morning like, nah, it's an all right day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I gave up as the coffee is gurgling happily in the
Cool.
background.
Cool. All right. I want to move on, and I want to
There's
talk.
a lot of comments in here today.
Let's see. I went through and started voting a little bit, and I haven't gotten through all of them. So if I haven't hit you yet, sorry about that. And there's actually quite a few on there. Dope.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them today.
So let's see what we got. I wanna plug through these and see what we got. Need more posts like this and not just one picture. Garden, that was last LCP. Gardens got created. This was a pretty dope post actually. It was very thorough and a lot of good content. Handmade magic. So have you guys seen this at all?
I just saw it a few minutes ago, but let's see, what are they doing?
Well, this is what a snowman would look like in Florida because we don't have snow.
Is he made of cups?
It's made of cups, bro.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of love him.
Oh, there's a bunch of them.
Didn't somebody? There was like a. What was the
This
thing that
one
was
makes
said
me
with-
feel like that one was a warning.
Oh,
That snowman, he looks like a
No, it does
warning.
sort of look like this is a like.
It's a warning to the other ones.
Oh man.
What were you
Snowman.
saying though, John? What was the question?
what? So they're like, we need more pictures like this and not just pictures of gardens.
We need more
Oh no,
snowmen.
it was. I think the point that was made was. Wait, where did I put it?
Let's see.
More posts like this. So I think one. So like we complained about the music layer a couple of times where people were just posting a video with no commentary and just like blah on there. I think
Yeah.
that's the point here that the Milo. I'm gonna just call him Milo. That Milo is basically saying like there's a lot of posts that are just a picture with no commentary and there's no like interesting narrative like what is this about and why did you post it. I think that's the point here is more posts like this. They don't all have to be elaborate and like earth shattering
Or about snowmen.
or about snowman, but the idea is to like put something up. Not you're gonna get the most rewards for thoughtful posts. So if you have a reason to post a photo or some content, why not talk about those reasons whenever you post it, if that makes sense?
And you see, in the gardening layer, at least, I see that tends to be the case a lot, though. People tend to put stuff that they'll take a picture of it and then they'll actually write up something about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the newer layers, so hopefully it stays that active. I think this is cool with the lights in it. I didn't see that until
Oh, that's cool. Okay, now I kind of want a snowman made out of cups.
Solo Man.
Solo man? Oh my god, make him out of red Solo cups.
I think that's super cool. If I was in college, that'd be great for any like fraternity house, whatever it is. Yeah, go for it. Like
I think it's cute anywhere.
This is great. I do not want this at my house though. Like, it's cool. It's awesome. I think it's cool, but like, it also does look does look like a bunch of cups. Also, like, so to me, it's like, yeah, it's awesome. Like, try not to like knock it like in that way.
No, that's funny. It's funny,
but it's not for me.
It's also like a bunch of cups.
I guess maybe as the guy who's drinking an espresso martini at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, like what are you even on about? Like,
with the pellets
that is perfect for the front of your house. You kidding me?
My HOA would fucking kick me out. They wouldn't, but I'm sure they want to.
Is that not the greatest concept in the world, by the way? Like, you live here, by the way, your yard is mine and you can't do anything to it.
You agreed to live in this neighborhood. You have to
pay me a premium for some reason.
What I love most, or like, not most, but what I really love is like in TV shows when they have those problems where it's like, oh, it's like, why are you gonna tell me how to maintain my yard? And then the person runs for the HOA leadership and wins. I love that. It was like, you know what? You're a piece of shit. Nobody likes you. I'm gonna run, and then we're gonna kick your ass out. Like, love.
But then we find out that the HOA is the one thing that person has, and if you take it from them, they've just got nothing else.
That's true, but I'm cool with that, though. I'm cool with leaving this person with nothing.
I'm not a fan of HOAs either. I lived in one.
Holy shit!
I rented a basement up in Vienna, Virginia, by DC, and I was working for Siemens, and I had a truck that said Siemens on the side of it. And one of the HOA rules was that you were not allowed to have trucks with a company name on the side of it in your driveway. Was an actual HOA rule.
I'd have been like,
I had to get a magnetic, like a big magnetic sheet to put on the side of my truck, big white sheet to cover up the name, so that I didn't violate HOA rules.
What an unnecessary thing to have to do.
Because I don't know, it was beneath them.
It was green.
People that worked for a living to have work trucks in the neighborhood, you know, it looked bad to have a work truck.
You know what's ruining America? You know what's ruining America? Signs on the side of people's cars. That's what it is. That's what's ruining America. And if you don't agree with me, you can't live.
You can't live here anymore.
I'm telling you, the biggest problem we've got is signs on cars. If we got rid of them, just think about it.
Just think about it.
Okay, less eye pollution. Okay, we wouldn't have to read as much, so I can focus on other things like ignoring my kids. Like,
oh my god,
it's just awful. People are awful. People are awful. And
welcome to coffee.
Yeah. If you're watching the show, I hope you already knew that before tuning in. But people are awful. Oh man.
I was taught one awful. I was taught one real good life lesson from my dad in his entire life, and it was that people suck. Like, that's just, at the end of the day, people suck, and that's just gonna happen.
That's really funny, but also sad.
That's just literally it. That's it. All.
Yeah. You know what else sucks? It's not being able to post a video whenever you want to.
God. Oh yeah, I guess we should segue back into normal stuff here.
Dave, you're killing it with the segues.
Well, like we're talking like Linus Tech Tips level segues here.
Normally, I gotta bring it back to center. You know, normally I gotta bring it back. Dave,
You know, if it was Linus Tech Tip segues, it would be like, speaking of merch, go buy my merch on the
Speaking
Linus
of
Tech Tip
merch,
store.
LGTstore.com.
You know? Yeah, you could be talking about Mars, and you'd be like, you know, we have an item in the merch store with a planet
With
Mars
the word Mars on it.
Oh man, you know, I bought. You know, I'm rolling out this thing locally. This is not the segue I was going into, but I'm rolling out this thing locally to onboard normal people locally, get a click going on. Got a pretty good momentum and stuff. But I ordered $2,000 worth of merch from Den. So I got all these T-shirts coming, and I got stuff, man. I got so much stuff. So I'm gonna deck people out in Gainesville with Den merch, and then
Did you get coffee mugs?
I did, yeah.
Thank God.
I got some. Yep. I didn't get a bunch. I got some. I want to see what's popular. So like I got a bunch of different colors in the shirts. I got a bunch of different here. I'll just in fact.
Well, also speaking of merch has the letter M in it. Which reminds me, my show today, which begins
I'll type this in. So there's a whole Den section on the Dragon Chain store. How do I find that? Special editions. Oops. Shop. There we go. Den. We went through this before whenever we launched a bunch of new colors and stuff. But yeah, there's like a whole section on here you can get Den merch, which is
for the people out there that are watching that don't know that you can go and buy a coffee mug or a hat or a shirt with the website you're using on it. There you go.
Also,
all kinds of cool stuff.
Do I want
you
that?
happen to be one of those people like me who are also into Dragon Chain, which is the network that this platform is built on top of. Where do I go to? Oh yeah. So if I were to add this to cart, check this out. And then I go to my cart, check out. There is an option, which I didn't realize until recently when I was checking
buying them out in merch.
You can pay with dragons right here.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can actually, like that hat is 186 dragons. Oh. So if you happen to have some of those from, like, I'm mining dragons and stuff on the side and stuff like that. It's pretty cool to not have to. I always talk about having something to do with the token other than just sell it. Some way to use it directly, the utility of it. So here's one thing: you don't have to sell it to use it if you want to just buy some merch. So if you got some dragon tokens that you want to do something with, I would say hang on to them and build time and become a miner like me. But everyone's not like me. Some people just like hats. And so if hats are your thing,
some people just like hats.
Yep.
That's today's episode tagline: Coffee with Den. Some people just like hats.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what? I wanted to talk about something that's more admin side, like the fact that there's no ability to add videos in the Garden and Flowers layer.
Nice segue again. Nice segue.
Yeah. Even though it was a seg, I changed topic. I don't know if that qualifies as a segue.
Yeah, I think
you have to have. Don't you have to tie it with a common theme to be?
Yeah, you're talking about admin stuff, like right. So like being able to use Dragon Chain to make purchases and stuff like that. I feel like that is an administrative choice.
I feel like that is a stretch of a segue, but we'll take it.
I'll go with it.
Good morning to the people. Good morning to the people in our comments that have been popping up occasionally.
Yes, Logan. Good morning.
Wait, there's comments that people can say?
Yeah, I'm gonna type it. Watch. Good morning to you.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like on the side, and I never see it. I have it full screen because I'm a real person.
Oh, that's VKB as well above them.
So what's probably going on here, and I got to look into it right now. I haven't looked into it yet, but either there was an error when it got set up, which has happened from time to time, or it just needs to be enabled in the settings. So I do believe that I am one of the layer owners, so I can do that right now. Let's see. If we go to, I've got a lot of lot, obviously. So Garden and Flowers. If you are a lot holder, you can go in and you can do things like turn on and off video posts, right? So video currently, if you see down here, is turned off. So I can put in a proposal to turn it on. right? So I can set these settings to how I want the reputation settings, and then I can describe it in the proposal and say we need to turn on video, and that's all that is, right? So I'm going to, for now, I'm going to leave reputation off because that's probably a different conversation. Reputation is like, you see how you get little ticks that show up on the side when I turn it on? If it's turned off, you either enable or disable a feature, period. If it's turned on, you can actually granularly decide who's allowed to do each individual thing. Like, can you post a video? Can you post an image? Well, it depends on your reputation, right? You don't individually say this user can do this and this user can do that. You say if their behavior matches a certain score, then they seem to be good actors, and sure, they can add whatever they want because they've shown that they're not, assholes in the past or whatever.
They're not just
Now
putting a bunch of random stuff in there.
Yeah. So I'm going to turn rep off. We can talk about rep later in that layer, but right now I'm just going to propose that we turn video on, and up here I'm just going to say proposal to enable, or actually I'm just going to say enable video posts. Right?
Very eloquent. I like it.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Yep, propose. So when I propose that, it created the GI, the governance issue, and then I can go to the GI section and it should show up. Available and pending, last modified.
Oh, yeah, it's there.
What? Where?
I mean, it showed up for me at least.
Did it? Well, why are you special?
I don't know.
Oh, here we go. There it is. Cool. So I've got 15%. Anybody who has gardens and who has gardens a lot, go vote on this. And I can grab this URL here, copy, and I'm going to go post it in Den chat over on Telegram real quick, which I don't have up on my screen, but I'm just going to pass it along. Please vote on this if you hold lot in the new garden lair. Thanks. Oops, I forgot we have slow mode on, so I have to wait freaking 20 seconds before I actually put the link in because I already hit enter. Anyway, so if you're in chat, the link's coming. If you're in Den chat on Telegram, there is a chat room there. Until we get chat enabled on Den properly, we've got a chat room there. And that's how you enable stuff. It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, not too bad. That was also a good little example of how to submit one of those. And it was quick and easy.
Let me go back to where I was here. All right, so there's your answer. It just wasn't enabled. Next, we have cryptocurrency. That's a cool name. I was just thinking, wait, the cryptocurrency layer is posting in the Den layer?
Yeah, that was confusing.
Let's see. Are they limited? Yeah. So the questions on here, this is basically anything goes, because technically it's about Den and we should talk about things that are related to Den, but that could mean anything, because as long as there's any sort of post on Den about a topic, we can dive into it. I don't care. We can talk about Martians. We can talk about Venetians. We can talk about how Bit by the Coin changes their name to Bit by the whatever's popular sometimes, and I think it's neat. If there's a post about that, and we can talk about it. So yeah, I love mining. I've been mining for a long time as a hobby. Not like I don't have any warehouses full of mining rigs and stuff like that.
God, that'd be cool though.
But yeah, absolutely. Like if you want to ask me about mining, I'll throw down on some conversation there. I might even do a mining episode of something. I don't know.
Actually,
I just love that shit. I love mining. I don't know why, but I just fell into it and I understood the implications of like how everything works and why it's important. And I was just like, I have to know everything and let me participate. So yeah, yep. Ask me
a whole
about
mining episode would be a good idea.
Yeah, it would, especially. So Gravity Crab and I are actually launching a mining company. We haven't officially done that yet. We're still in the R&D phase. I made some bad decisions on hardware provisioning, so I'm
not necessarily.
No, it was bad. It was I didn't.
But we have so much memory now.
Yeah, Yes. Yes, we do. Well, the thing is, it got way more expensive than I thought, but that's just kind of comes with the territory, I think. But yeah, you can ask me about mining. Foost, Uniswap V3. Thank you. All right. I didn't want to forget about this because it is important. There is two questions here. We want to talk about Uniswap. We want to talk about lore farming. So Uniswap, late last year, we put out that we were migrating from V2 over to V3. What that means is Uniswap, if you go to, oh wait, this is not, is this where? Yeah, this is the one. If you go to uniswap.org, this is what's called a decentralized exchange, meaning you don't have to send your tokens to some third party and then trust them not to lose them, and then give them orders and say trade this for this, trade that for that. With this, if you have the right plugins like MetaMask that we use for Den, you can directly swap out your Matter tokens for Ether tokens, or vice versa. You can purchase Matter with Ether tokens, right? So with what V3 is just a new version of it. They had the old one was V2, the new one's V3. There's some features that came along with that. But what we had to do is we had to remove a bunch of what's called liquidity, which is just tokens that people are allowed to trade on, so they don't have to ask somebody else to do it. We had to remove that from V2, and we had to migrate it over to V3 under a certain contract with, pick out our different fee tiers and things like that. So 2 points about that. If you, let me just go grab something real quick. If you go to, I don't know if you know Etherscan or not, but it's just like the standard place to look things up. If you throw in the contract address, we're updating the links, by the way, on Den.social, the buy buttons next in your wallet, it'll just go straight there. You don't have to do this. But until we put out like a post saying, hey, we're done, we are actually done at the moment. So you can technically already do it. So here's Matter, right? You just pick your token and you can say, okay, I've got 1 Ether. It'll look for the best price and it'll say, okay, you'll get 5,500 Matter for that 1 Ether. And then you swap it. Insufficient ETH balance because I don't have any on this wallet, but that's how that works. I had a point that I lost. Don't forget V3. What was the question specifically about V3? I asked Foos to remind me, and this is the reminder, which is great. But now I forget which post that the other post was on that was like the reason for the reminder. You know what I mean? But maybe that was it. We've moved to V3. So lore farming was the other one, and that's what I posted this for. Some people have noticed that the lore rewards have reduced this year since the new calendar year, and that's on schedule. Oops, go back. That's on schedule. But there's something else to mention too. So before in 21, we started the lore farming or the rewards, behavior rewards, about halfway through the year. And so all of this balance that was allocated to the first year was not used. Now that's it's in a multi-sig account. It's safe. It's not being used for anything. And then we'll have a governance decision on like how to use the rest of it. But for 22, you can see already that there's less than half as much available over the course of the year. But this is how much is going to be going out through farming in 22. And then it reduces 23, 4, and 5. And eventually, people are not going to be getting free lore so much anymore. And it reduces over time. So early adopters get the benefit of getting larger rewards early on. That's an incentive for people to come in and help us build. The idea with lore is let's give it for free to people who are showing the type of behavior that we need in order to develop a healthy community and to grow the platform and to build, because it isn't just like a handful of people that are building this. This is anybody who wants to help us build, come in and make it what you want it to be. So that's what this is for. Is this gives out tickets to ownership, because then you can use all of that lore. That's what you've used to vote on the layer proposals. Like the garden and flowers layer. The reason that I'm an owner of that is because I used some of my farmed lore, like everyone else did in this. And it gives you, once your layer wins, it gives you 1-for-1 exchange these lot tokens that give you ownership and passive income from the layer. So the passive income is a portion of all matter mined in that layer goes to the people that hold the tokens. So that's sort of the zero cost of entry path to ownership that's laid out. And the lore farming is important with that, but it does taper off. Does that make sense?
From what I
Yeah, I
heard,
followed
yes.
along. Yeah.
Yeah, John's got it.
I was going for a chunk of it.
Also, if anybody has mining questions, you can feel free to ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
You want to do mining trivia with John?
Do I want to do that? No.
No.
I'm good. I already got my own segment, man. I already got a segment.
Oh, I was going to ask you questions and let you answer them.
Oh, we can do that too. Whatever you want.
I've already got my own segment.
I mean, I'll participate in your segment.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm here for. I'm a talking head. Not much in there, but I'll talk.
I'm a talking head.
So much. Here we go. So who's this? At. Nice. I didn't know you could have just at.
Good name. Such a good name.
At says, you think lore has the most potential to be a 100x token out of all the Den tokens? Seems like it could be the most risky and volatile, but I could see it booming. Its price is really low as well. I laid out an answer here, which basically goes like, not financial advice, but maybe. I have noticed that in the beginning, we did not have the lore rewards we were just talking about. And so for every month on the LCP, to acquire them, people did have to go and purchase them on the open market to be able to use them to get lot. So in the beginning, it went from like 0.00003 cents to now it's 0.003. So I think it has probably done 100x or something close to that. However, the moment we enabled the internal lore snapshot and farming and stuff, nobody's bought anything on the open market from lore since then, because you're getting them for free in the platform. So at the moment, if I'm giving an honest analysis, I would say over time, yeah, assuming that the platform continues to grow at any rate, or even stagnates and doesn't go away, you're going to see that eventually, with the snapshots getting lower and lower up here, people are going to have less and less lore to go around. And so the competition or the contest each month is going to be driving people to go grab some extra lore from the open market, potentially, to put into the contest to win, right? That's the utility of it, to be able to do that and have it available if you want to, at the very last 5 minutes, maybe somebody wants to snipe their position up at the top before somebody else gets to vote. So I think that down the road, you're going to see something probably similar to what you've seen in the past before we enabled the internal lore farming. So I hope that answers that question fairly enough.
Yeah, and if you guys have any other questions, feel free to throw them in the chat, and I can answer them for you.
Yeah, throw them in the chat. I don't think, John, are you monitoring chat? VKB, what's up? Hey, good morning to you. I have some questions, but I can't write on the post. I am banned from a couple of layers, including Den layer. Aw. So I think I know why, and I'm sorry this happened to you, VKB, but I think it was because you really wanted people to vote for the India layer, which is amazing, and I do want that because I think that's important. There's a lot of there's a lot of users from India and more coming, and also India as a market is just blowing up with internet stuff. Like, access to reliable internet in India apparently has been booming. But so something that I mentioned to you on Den before is the I don't know what else to call it except, and I'm not being mean here, but you were kind of spamming all over the place. Vote for India layer, vote for India layer, vote for India layer. So I think what happened is, since it was not on the topic of a lot of the things that you were replying to with that, people downvoted it, evaluated it down, because objectively it's off topic, so they evaluated it down. And the way that our reputation system works is that if you get evaluated down enough times in the same layer, you're going to end up getting blocked or banned. If enough, or rather, if enough people block you to where they don't want to see what you're saying. For example, if they think that all you're doing is posting everywhere about voting for your lair, they might assume that you're a bot. They might assume that you're spamming everywhere, and they might block your account because they just don't want to see that. And if enough people do that, you will get automatically banned by the system. And you can be unbanned as well, but that takes a governance proposal, I think, to unban. I'll have to double check on that procedure, but that's probably why. So sorry about that. The question. I have some questions, but I can't. VKB, throw your question in chat right now, and I'll get to it when I see it. And I'll just put that in chat too. Your question in here, sir. Happy to answer if I can. All right, next. All we need here, so who's this? We got Pitar Tom, 31. All we need here is just some funny and interesting things and something that has the power to make a reaction. Maybe create some airdrops or contests or something like that. I like to give away money, so here's an airdrop for you right here, buddy. Here's about $3.50. Thanks for the suggestion. So this is just how easy it is to tip people. There's no fees. It's pretty instant. Thanks for the suggestion. We'll come up with a contest because that does sound pretty legit.
I love being able to hear your internal monologue while you're writing this out. I really want to know, is that what it sounds like in your head when you're typing this stuff? Or
Yeah,
are you just doing it?
No,
Okay.
it is. It's saying what I'm thinking is what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Saying
That's fascinating.
and,
Yeah, I guess we should come up with like a contest, right? Like
What would that look like?
what would that look like? Well, you'd have a winner and a loser.
Us-
The winner or winners, we could have more than one winner because you know what? That's what we learned growing up is everybody is a winner in some way.
Yeah.
But then we also learned that everybody's a piece of shit. So
we learned that this morning. Right?
yeah, it's a little column A, a little column B. So some people would win, some people would lose.
And we actually have to pick a winner this time. Unlike the last time we hosted a contest, Dave, we should probably pick a winner.
That. No, what Gravity Crab's talking about is I was one time, well, more than one time.
I didn't expect for us to roll into this.
Oh, it's funny though. It's not. You know what? You're right. It was morally corrupt. Let's
be good.
But it was funny to me. Anyway, different topic for a different time.
Okay, my idea for a contest might be a little selfish, but what isn't? Also, this is like my idea for like trying to revive layers or something.
Yeah.
Whatever that thing you do is.
You're good at that.
Yeah. What if we did whoever gets the most like energy on a post on in like a particular layer gets like a matter, right?
That's
so
a
like
place to start.
Yeah,
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, this week's layer is I don't know what's one that kind of sucks. Middle Earth. I don't know how crazy that layer gets. Yeah, nobody's posted on this
Middle Earth
in a long time.
Sounds like we can. What I want to have one day. Here's a contest. I want to have eventually. I want to have an Elder Scrolls layer, and then we can have a Middle Earth versus Elder Scrolls.
Yes.
Contest.
The Elder Scrolls layer is going to lose.
That would hit people right in the personal feels because people are attached to both of those IPs.
See, you don't know though, because like Dave could come in with his 12,000 fucking energy and just rock it, you know?
Just use the clout.
Yeah, I would have to refrain from that one.
I'm there with my 250, like just.
I love that we have to like impose rules on Dave for things.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave, you can't vote on like anything in a particular layer until after the contest ends. Like that's the rule. And I think that's like kind of I think that'd be kind of
That
fun.
could be
Like,
cool, actually. Like, have people go in and make some content on a layer
Yeah.
that's a little underperforming,
and
and then
it
it gets to-
encourages people to read what's there, but also to like examine like the layer and think about the topic. Like I would love to see a post on somebody who doesn't garden in the
Yeah.
garden layer. Like that
That would be
sounds
great.
fun.
I'd love to make a post in the garden layer that's just like, "Hi, I know that at some point food goes from the dirt to my house, but like the in betweens, I'm not huge on."
Especially if they win. If they win, that makes it even better. You know
It
what
would
I
be
mean?
cool to have. So you're talking about basically you could post in any layer, and then you submit your post to the contest post in the replies. So you
Nay,
can see them to see
No.
where you're. No.
no, because then you can just go post in like the den layer where you're much more likely to get upvotes as opposed to fucking humor where it's just a hell of a
Oh, so it could
Yeah.
be like a dead layer contest.
yeah,
that's
it's
the bit.
one layer.
Oh, it's one layer. Like
Yeah,
it's-
so it's a dead layer contest. So you can we pick one layer that week.
Oh, dude,
And
week. Yeah.
yeah, every week. So next week, like I tried to do this last week with I think it was tabletop. I looked, nothing happened.
Okay.
So I think it's because I was the one that was like, I'll go upvote you with my energy. I've got like 14 of them. But like the one person that commented on my thing in humor, I was like, take all of it. You can just have everything.
So let's do this. For next week, I'll add it to the post, the contest to the post. Do you want to pick humor layer? Is that what we want to start with? Start with that one?
I would love that, but I also think that might be a little self-serving.
Okay, let's do the
so
garden layer because that's one of the newer ones that.
You own the most amount of lot in.
Oh, you're right. One that I don't. Let me not get a conflict of interest here.
Yeah, it's hard to find one he doesn't own.
I'm gonna be fair though. Having a conflict of interest, I don't think is a bad thing.
Yeah, no, not a bit.
I don't think wanting humor to be fetch is bad. I don't think wanting the garden layer to have more people interacting, no matter how much lot you use, and who cares if you make like $4, like whatever.
What about Elon Musk? No, I'm an owner there too.
You're an owner in everything.
No, I'm
How about
not.
this?
I'm
You
not.
don't get to pick, Dave.
History.
You
I don't
don't
have any history. I don't have any humor. We can do humor.
We can do history. I mean, but I
Yeah.
feel like I might have a slight unfair advantage.
I want lot in humor, but nobody's active. Somebody give me lot in humor.
This person has a lot.
Yeah.
Has the most. So
Hey, what do we just approach him on the street? I'm like, hi, can I please have some humor?
No, get him on the show. Get Joe Dragon.
Why
on
has
the
he
show.
not been on here? Actually, now that I think about it,
because he lives in California or he lives in Washington. He lives on the West Coast.
I don't care.
BKB lives in India.
Yeah.
But it's night. It's evening there. He's been up all day. He's just chilling at the end of the day. Like, let me see what's going on with these yahoos.
And he's gonna see this later at some point if he does, and be like, "Oh, I probably would have done that."
He'll get on the show. It'll be fine, and somebody's gonna give me some humor lot because I want some.
Yeah. So let's do humor.
I want some history.
This person and this person I know are pretty active in trying to get more people to do the content creation and add stuff. Also, Spanzel
Good name.
might be willing to Lothar if he's around. A lot of these people will give out some lot.
All right.
So
So I think this is what we do. We need Dave. You got to go into humor right now, and you got to post the competition. Be like, look, you have from now until a week from today. Whoever gets the most fucking energy. Don't say it the way I'm saying it. This is a bad sentence.
To get the most fucking energy.
No, wait, say the way I'm saying. This is
Holy
more fun.
shit!
It's funny. I just like the look, comma. Look, read my shit, okay?
So here's what
Right
I'll
here.
add this to the description of the post for next week. Between now and then, we all need to add something in the humor layer. We can't vote on our own post, so that's good. And then, are we going to go by whoever has the most energy on their post in the layer, or are we going to say, hey, post in the replies, post your submission so we can look at it, so we know that it's somebody who watches the show?
Yeah, how exclusionary do we want to be?
Less exclusionary.
I'm gonna be honest. I highly doubt anybody that's not participating in this competition will win.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I don't.
I highly doubt
That's a
that.
good
Okay, well, that goes to say, yeah.
If you look at the humor layer, right? I highly doubt, like, Can't Stop Crying 4.5. I guess from
Didn't
10
you-
hours ago.
Didn't
I
you
guess
just say one of the people in the humor layer that was pretty active is this I am person?
Yeah, I just sent him a message.
They just popped up in our comments.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I sent him a message.
He wants you to tip him some lot for humor. I could use some humor lot. Side note, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so let's do that. And then, do you want to go by? Yeah. So we won't worry about having to post it in the Den post or whatever. We'll just go look at the humor layer on the day of the show and see, okay, who's up there.
Yeah. Well, I think you should post it in Den saying we're doing the competition. You know what I mean? Or at least on this reply or whatever.
Mhm.
And then also we should post something in the humor layer. Hey, by the way, copy. This is just a way to plug the show, I guess. I like how people get to view our marketing talks. This is fun.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
Right? This is as extensive as the marketing talks get, by the way.
Together, everyone's welcome.
Yeah, Dave buys merch. I say random bullshit. And David
I'm
gets,
here.
David gets COVID.
I
It's
get
great.
COVID.
And then tells us when we have too much memory, which I don't see how that's a bad thing, but whatever.
When it all doesn't plug into the same place, that's the problem.
Okay, just get a bigger brain. I don't know what to tell you, dude. All
We
right,
have the
so-
biggest damn brains we could for this computer.
So for humor, right? So I think what we do is in the humor layer, you post, "Hey, Coffee with Den is having a competition, and your layer has been selected. Congratulations!"
Oh god,
Winner.
make it sound pretentious.
We chose
Yeah.
a player. You're already a winner.
As I fucking drink my boozy drink at 9 o'clock in the morning because I got nothing to do but write.
So I was talking earlier for a second about how VKB got banned from a couple of layers. It was just because he didn't understand the back end with like the reputation system and stuff. But I wanted to say that this right here is the reason that we do need an India layer. So I agree with him, even though he was downvoted and got like blocked by a couple of layers or whatever for basically spamming around, hey, go vote for India. He's right. People should vote for India because there's a lot of people that will end up using that layer.
And also, side note to VKB really quick, as you know, somebody we've had on the show and somebody that pops up all the time. You always have like stuff for us to talk about that's stuff that I would never have thought of. And on top of that, like I've seen the amount of people that you've had driving to the platform lately. Like there's people that pop up on Introduce Me like once a day now. It's like, hi, I'm a friend of VKB, which is awesome. Just letting you know. And he's here.
Good morning, Hyperion Frequency. Just want to say that too.
We can pump in the comments.
Oh yeah, you just click on. Oh, I can.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're the God Emperor over there.
I can do it.
I have the power.
Wearing the shirt can do it.
Oh, that's right.
There's
I
our
have one of
contest.
those coming.
We'll roll into that next week. Thank you very much for that because that's cool. Did I tip you out? Yes, I did. Dope.
So I wanted lots so I can propose changes. Like we're missing so many tags and stuff in the humor layer.
But yeah, that's
We
important.
don't even have a background picture.
You should.
Look,
make
I'm
one.
going to be honest. If you want to win this competition, the best way to probably do that is to propose a background picture.
Mhm.
I guarantee it because that's what's going to get the most amount of points right there.
Yep. And that works the same way as whenever I proposed changing the turning on a minute ago the video settings. You just go to avatar or banner, and the cool thing about that is you upload what you want to change it to. You don't say, hey, can someone make a banner? We should make one, and then somebody in the background has to do it. You do it, and then you upload it to the proposal and you say, hey, here's what I think the banner should be, or here's what I think the avatar should be. Let's vote on it. And if it passes the vote, it just automatically happens. Nobody has to go set that. The system just does it. As soon as you cross 50% on the voting, it just happens. So
Well,
anybody can do that.
I think like to win this competition though, like posting a post about the picture and like talking about it there, because you don't vote with energy on governance issues, do you? No. Exactly. So the competition, right? If you post like, hey, I want to change picture to this, this is what I'm thinking, go vote in the governance issue. We've got a lot. That's what I'm saying. That's how you're gonna win this. That's like the low-key way that you're gonna win this.
Okay. So if you basically using the different features, tying them in together to drive interaction to your post and giving people more utility around your contest entry.
Yeah. And have a good one. I am 4am. I am.
Oh yeah, it was cool to have them pop in.
Yeah.
It was just funny that they popped up the minute that Dave mentioned them, essentially.
Yeah. All right.
Here's a question that's interesting. It's from Michael Watcher. Says, what's stopping you from giving us the ability to buy a layer for non-commercial purposes? Why wouldn't you set a price for a layer with generic capabilities and let people buy it for, let's say, 1,000 matter? I understand that most of those new layers will just die out in silence, but some might flourish. And at the same time, you're generating income, more traffic, more options to choose from. Just add all the new layers automatically to everyone's subscription list and let people decide if they like it or not. Just a thought. So that's a great question. Let me make sure I tip this because I forget. I got to go back to last week. I don't think I tipped anybody out last week. I have to go back and do that.
I thought you did.
It is a suggestion and it is a question.
Can't you do that? Can't you buy a layer for matter for non-commercial?
I was going to say you can absolutely do that. So I don't know what the pricing is right now. I know that I've done it, and actually there are different types of layers. There's the LCP layer, which goes to the contest, like the one that we were just talking about that won this month, the current situation, and the gardening layer is also an LCP layer. So those get created every single month based on the contest. And so the idea being is if it wins the contest, in theory, there's enough people to support a new layer under that category and they'll jump in and get started. You can also straight up do just a business to business with Den. Like I have a business called Decent Games or Decentralized Gainesville. We did exactly what you're talking about, where we opened a layer. We did not go through the contest. We went through Den, and I sent them however many lore I needed to make into lot tokens, right? So you still have to pay in the lore, plus you pay a fee to the business to create it. And then you get that many lot, and you get your new layer. Now, I think at the time that I did it, it was like 1 ether was the fee. And at that time, an ether was maybe $1,200-$1,500. It's almost $3,100, $4,000 sometimes now. So I think it might be switched over to Matter because I know that the LCP contest is. I just don't know if the initial fee is switched over to Matter or not. It might still be either. Point is that you can do that right now, and you don't have to do it just for non-commercial purposes. You're very welcome to build a business around a layer. In fact, that's what I'm doing with Gainesville. And I'm using the lot in the Gainesville layer for my business as a way to, how do I put it? Basically, it's a local focused business. So I'm giving them out to people that come out to my events. And then those people get to vote on stuff for the next events and things like that. And in that way, I know that only the people that have come out to support in the past are the ones that are voting or passing judgment and that kind of thing. Hey, Deidre. The next part of the question, and you've seen, I understand most of them might die out in silence, some might flourish. You're right. So I very much believe the Gainesville layer will flourish. And so far, it looks like some others, like Maker layer, and to an extent, the music layer was pretty meh there for a while. Those are all examples of a business layer that did not go through LCP. And the last thing that I want to point out for that is because it is a business layer and not an LCP, there's a little bit of extra flexibility around the supply of tokens. If you win an LCP layer, that layer has that amount of lot or ownership tokens forever. It can never change. Um, if it's a business layer, though, you can add more lot later if you need to, because you might have a business reason to where you need to do that. I, for example, have a reason, and I'm going to be making some more. Right now, there's 100,000 lot for Gainesville. There's going to be 200,000 probably. But yeah, so there's a difference in the types of layers. That's totally possible. It's a great idea, and so we've done it. Oh, and subscription list. We did go through the default sub list recently, and I don't think we're adding everything to everyone's default sub list automatically, but we went through and revamped it at least. Oh, Mike Lee says basically the same thing. Gives an email address, which I didn't do, so points there. Thank you. Commercial B2B, the price will probably be on. Oh, I see. So the question was actually a non-commercial one specifically. I thought you were assuming that it had to be non-commercial purposes, which it can be. It can be whatever you want it to be. I don't know. Yeah, there's not a different model, I guess, is the answer there. But we're almost done with Den-wide governance, so anything's proposable later on, maybe next month or so. Anything's
that's going to be cool.
Or votable. All right. Baboon, T-Swift or Die, just a few minutes ago, says, here's the link to my improv show tonight. Come pop in the Zoom and say hi. You should do that.
I swear to God, I better not forget about it this time.
I love hearing the way you read this out loud. Like, it's fun because in my head, like, there's a way that I wrote this in my head, and then hearing the way you read it, it's really fun.
So you probably wrote it and said, free. Here's a link to my improv show tonight. Come pop in the Zoom and say hi.
Nope. Right? It was, here's a link to my improv show tonight. Come pop in the Zoom and say hi.
Oh, okay.
I should let people know this is free. Free.
Well, I mean, like, okay, so Dave also has this. He could do audiobooks. Like, he's the kind of person that he just reads stuff and you can just kind of go with it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you. Well, that's good. That's handy.
I think it's like it's you and a few other people that, like, you could probably read me a bottle of shampoo and it would be interesting.
Well, I'm just glad that people don't complain about my voice, like Linus or something, where everyone's like, "But your voice,
your nasally voice." It's okay. Mine does that anyways. My nasally ass voice.
To the guy long enough to where you don't care.
When I was in high school, like that, like having a nice sounding voice was one of my like top things I was looking for in like a person I wanted to date. Was having a nice. Dave's gone. Okay, so this is the time to.
God damn it!
Damn it! Okay, yeah. So when I was in high school, I wanted to have like a nice.
Sorry.
I wanted my partner to have like a nice sounding voice. Because think about it, this is the voice you have to listen to the rest of your life.
That's a good point.
You don't get an option. So if they have a voice that's like irritating, off-putting, whatever, not ideal, like that's it. That's all you get.
That's all you're hearing.
Yeah, I think you'll get used to it after a while, though.
Yeah, I don't have to get used to a voice.
I want to be in love with it.
If like the first few times you're going out on a date and your first thought is, "Oh, I could get used to this," there's probably something else that you might want to look at.
Yeah, they're probably really good in bed, and you're just making excuses.
You're just making excuses.
You're ruining
like she sounds like Janice from Friends, but you know.
She's awful and punches me in the face all the time, but
it's like she hit me with her car yesterday, but my God, is it a good time?
Oh God, this is not misogynistic at all either, guys. We're doing wonderful things for feminism.
Oh God, we're doing
right here.
Today.
Speaking of wonderful, the next question is about Wonderland Coin. And I don't know a lot about it, but I do know that it's interesting. So I think they're the ones. Let me see. I got to look it up now. I like CoinGecko as a place to check stuff out. So I'm going to search for Wonderland and make sure it's the same one that I think it is. Yeah, time. That's the other time. That's the time that people get confused with the dragon time with this time because they called it time. Wonderland time it's interesting. I don't have a lot. My chart's all screwed up here. That's fine. But if you look at the You can't even see that because of my stupid. Let me press this button here real quick. There we go. This is so people look at this coin and I think I know why you're asking, because it's done some crazy shit recently. People look at this and they see, oh, like there was this big run up, and then there was just like, oh, it's going down, down, down. And this is around the time where I was talking to my buddy, like, what's up with this time thing, man? You told me that it's interesting. Should I get into it? And he was like, I don't know, man. It's did a lot before. I don't know what it's going to do anymore. But if you're going to get into it, now is probably the time to do it. And I didn't. And then it went brown like that. So I missed that. From what I understand, Time or Wonderland is one of those initially, like, most people thought it was going to be a rug pull, but the developers behind it are just on a mission to enrich the community and are just doing everything they can to support, like, people being able to get into this and make money. And that is literally the extent that I know about it. I know nothing else about it. What I would say, though, is the docs are where it's at. And I'm not going to sit here and read it. I should have read it before the show if I saw your question. So maybe I'll talk about it more next time. And
we'll do the mining episode next time. What do you think?
Yeah, right. So, like, I didn't even realize it was a fork of anything. You know what I mean? That's how little I know about it. Yeah, the core team, they're not decentralized yet, but they want to be. I guess I don't know. I assume, based on no information, just experience with, like, stuff in the past, I assume that it's going to die. I don't know why I think that. It's probably personal bias. I don't understand their. I haven't looked into it enough to understand their value proposition, I guess. There's a lot of staking and minting, things to do, like to feed the coin back into itself and yield gains from it. But because that's all I've ever seen, and even on here, it's FAQ, it's like tokenomic stuff, right? Market price, rebase, reward yield, API. So it looks like it's completely focused on money and nothing else. So I don't know. I don't have any. That's out of my wheelhouse. I'm more of a like fundamentals, like utility kind of guy now. But I'll tell you what. I'll look into it. I'll pop back in, and I'll give you a better answer in the replies to your question later on when I have time to. So there's my half-ass answer to that question.
Hey, on a quick complete side note here really quick, you want to remind me what that browser extension you use is that makes everything dark?
Mm-hmm. It's called Night Eye.
Night Eye. I just downloaded something called Night Shift, and that was wrong.
Yeah, Night Eye. Night Eye I like Night Eye. I paid for it finally after a while. There's a free version, there's a light version. But it is so good. It does break some websites. Like, you can't see some fields sometimes, like I just showed you.
Wow, that was immediate. Okay.
But it doesn't just, like, do color inversions on the website. So Den, obviously, we don't have a dark mode natively, but this is the Night Eye version where it does some machine learning and some optimization of color palettes to make you a nice dark mode theme on basically any website. So I use that. It's called Night Eye, and it's on Firefox. I'm pretty sure it's on, like, Chrome and stuff too, though.
And it, from what I've seen on your end, it works very nicely. And I just loaded it, and it immediately turned everything dark, which is nice.
Oh, yeah, quick.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, it turned everything black all of a sudden.
Wait, there's a dark mode option that works everywhere? Gimme.
That was my exact response when you showed it to me a while back.
Yep, and it works pretty well. It looks nice. So I don't know. Maybe we can just go with whatever colors come up here and just do an official palette if it works well enough.
VKB just popped up and asked if you wanted to if we could have him pop in for a minute.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. VKB, go ahead and use the link. I was just scrubbing through the replies.
I'll be right back.
I missed something. Yeah, use the link at the top. Is it here? Did I put it in here? Hold on. Yeah, join the call live right here. So do that and pop in, and we'll have you come up, dude, for sure. But that's all the replies. Good, I got through those. Thanks for popping in and leaving those, leaving us something to talk about there too. So VKB, I'm going to give you about 20 seconds just to make sure that you're good to go on your end, so that I don't bring you up prematurely while you're still getting set up. I see you got a map behind you there. Cool. Looks like you're showing up.
Nice.
And there you are, sir. Can you hear us?
Yeah, hello.
Okay, yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good evening to you.
Yeah,
Hey, sorry about the situation you got into over there where you can't post on some of these. We'll get that figured out. I'll talk to the team about it and see what the best way to like. I think there should be some. We probably just need to put a post up in the different layers and say, hey, governance proposal to unblock this user. They didn't realize that there was a reputation mechanism, and they have learned now, and see what people say. Kind of thing,
okay,
to
thank you.
get you rolling again.
Actually, I am a teacher, and the maximum members of my family belongs to this profession, and many of friends and my colleagues are also the teachers. So while I was discussing about them, so they want some more information about the team behind the Den.social. So from where I can get some conclusive information about you guys, so that I can share with them.
Yeah. Do you have any particular questions that I can like? What kind of information are you thinking of there?
It's regarding yeah, about your qualifications and about your profession.
Oh, like background and
Yeah, yeah, it's background related.
sure, yeah, yeah. So the team. I'll talk about the team that is like publicly, that comes on the show and stuff, like me and Joe. Um, I don't I don't know about like laying out the people that are working behind, under the hood a lot. I probably won't talk about them for privacy, but I personally I come from a uh, I was in the military. I learned a lot of my um, computer type stuff as just a hobbyist, somebody who was tinkering. And then I joined the Navy, and I spent about a year. Well, I spent 10 years in the Navy, but the first year or so, or two, was all electronics school and learning computers and how microprocessors work and things like that. And then while I was in the Navy, I got into just kind of lurking on the Bitcoin forums when they were, around. I was in 2009. I remember it was just that was the year that Bitcoin was like discoverable basically on the internet, and so I started looking into it then, um, in the very early times. But I didn't buy any, and I didn't mine any back then. And when I came home from a military deployment, I was a cruise missile tech. I was a Tomahawk cruise missile tech while I was in there, and got experience working with a lot of different types of people in the Navy, which I think helps me with this setting to be able to talk to different people and um, just have experience with different personalities, I guess. But then when I went home, I quit caring about Bitcoin for years because I was home now. I wasn't on deployment anymore, until I left the Navy and I moved to DC and needed a hobby again. And so I got into mining about 2014 or 2013. And since then, I've been steady doing some sort of mining, basically, um, especially starting around 2017. Price action brought me back in, I guess. But I haven't stopped since I got back into it the last time. So my background is from mostly from mining, but that's where I learned about cryptocurrency and how different uh, technologies actually fundamentally work. And I learned that by getting involved with them, like running a node, mining, you know, experimenting with proof of stake versus proof of work and other things too. And when I found Den, it was shortly after I found Dragon Chain. And as somebody who was like really interested in the technology on how it's engineered from the ground up. When I read the documentation on Dragon Chain's website, I think it's just docs.dragonchain.com or something. I learned something about Bitcoin that I had not really thought about before, which was the fact that you can use it for anything, not just money. And so I read about Dragon Chain's approach where you can not just transactions for financial transactions, but actually putting data into a Bitcoin block to prove it. Um, and that's when I found Den. And I discovered that everything on Den actually does go into a Bitcoin block proof. So everything that you post, when you reply to something, edits, all of that is proven all the way out to Bitcoin. Every vote that you make, every time you vote for a tag, things like that. And um, so that sort of got me interested in Den. And then I never left Den. I always kept coming back to Den and thinking like, wow, this is such an elegant solution to the problem of social platforms being centralized and the users being monetized for the business owner and not for the users. And with Den flipping that on its head and prioritizing the content creator over, I don't know, like quarterly profits, I guess, for lack of a better term, it it has the potential to revolutionize um, human interaction. I don't know how far it'll go. I just know that it's got the right stuff and the potential to where if people start adopting this platform, we're going to talk to each other differently in real life because we're going to probably understand each other a little bit more because there's not all of this manipulation happening uh, it, to get people, um, these emotional responses that they have on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. To have dialogue is unique all of a sudden. And um, I don't know. Ever since I dived into Den, I've just been, studying more and more about what makes a blockchain platform feasible for the long term. And I've just seen so many flashes in the pan that come up and go away. So experience, I would guess, would be my qualifier. I never did well in school or in university or whatever. I dropped out of college 3 times. I never had the patience to learn in an organized like fashion. So I'm just basically I grew up in a one stoplight town and sort of just had to figure everything out along the way. So
I've
experience,
been there. There is one stoplight.
Yes.
yeah.
Actually, this kind of information will help me to convince people. And I want to show you, I have a complete list of near about 200 people to whom
That's
I am going to
awesome.
contact in future. And probably they all will be joining the Den.social very soon. So
That's
you can
awesome.
see
Oh,
it's
fantastic.
a complete list, and I am doing a very thoroughly research on you and on Dragon Chain also. This is the Dragon
Oh
Chain
yes,
architecture
that's
I am
great. That's
studying.
a great document there.
So
You
That's awesome.
so
fine.
I have a my research is really going on about you guys. So thank you very much for sharing your information, your personal information with me. So hope there will be a very good news for you guys from my town very soon.
Good. Good to hear it.
Hey, if you ever
Yeah,
want to, if you ever just open offer, if you ever want to organize like a virtual conference with me and then your crew from India, however many people want to be on the call, I don't mind just kind of hanging out and talking about it. People.
yeah, very soon. Actually, I have my YouTube channel, and soon I will be inviting you. There will be a coffee with India.
Okay,
Will be there.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
I don't
I
mind
hope.
coming over. I'll absolutely, if you would like to have me, I'll come over and answer questions. If you have specific ones like that, I don't mind at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Thank you, Dave.
but I
Thank
wish
you
you.
very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. So yeah, cool, man. And then I was going to say also, Joe is the other big personality that's on a lot. His background is very much more impressive than mine.
Oh, good old Joe.
Yeah, you can find his background. He's got a good list on his LinkedIn where he's worked. But you know what, I saw a really good bio from. It must have been from the. I think it was an older document, but it laid out like a lot of his personal experience and why it might matter for a blockchain thing. I'll have to go find that and send it over to your way too, post it to you. But yeah, Joe's got a lot of technical experience that I don't have, and he's an engineer. I don't consider myself an engineer. I consider Joe an engineer, right? I can tinker and hack stuff up, and I can understand how it works. But he's really the what's the word?
Oh God,
He knows more than I do. I'll put it that way.
he's the smart guy,
He knows how to implement things. He knows how to do it, right?
the visionary.
He could
Yeah, I know. I have found his profile.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, what do we have over here? Boom, boom. Just check.
Parker, don't bite me.
Oh, Hyperion Frequency had something too. Do you guys get my proposal in the Den.gov 2021? Let me go look. I don't think I might not have seen it. I'm going to head over there and look at it. So Den.gov 21.
Well, it's nice to have you back on the show at random.
Let's see here. Under the increase of layers. Oh, increase of layers. Discussion, increase of layers. And then, let's see here. Hyperion Frequency. Here, let's see what you got. All right. I propose a way to regulate governance within a layer. Cool. Let's go and see what's here. Those who are forward-thinking already understand the implications of what it means to own lot in a successful layer, but their idle abandonment of hardly putting forth effort to actually manage and contribute to the layer leaves the community feeling very discontent. Okay, that can happen. My proposal is that the matter generated in that particular layer be held in a pool for the month. All lot shareholders will be weighed on their participation in the layer, everything from voting on proposals up and down, commenting, and so forth, being active in the chat when they are fully implemented. No longer based on the amount of lot they hold, but their level of participation and in keeping layer running will determine their matter paying out from the layer pool. It might prevent many whales from joining every layer. It will be a success, help the community, build communities for people who actually want to be there. I see a lot of layers with people who don't want to be there and contribute negatively to the space. And I'm going to paraphrase. I'm sorry, it's a little bit longer. I don't want to read it unabridged. I think it'll help flow of tokens, healthy range for layers. The ones who would suffer the most from this proposal will be the whales. I say this because although they can single-handedly throw around a few hundred K of lore, what happens to the smaller users who only vote on layers they actually want instead of what's popular? This is a good proposal. Help the unique votes forward. Participating layer. Yeah, drive participation. Everyone wants to be rich, but you have to grow, which requires work. A side note proposal would be to increase the importance of the reputation system. If you want to be a lot holder, then denizens should be able to see how much you contribute back to the layer through participation. Badges, yeah, we are actually working on badges for stuff. So this is a good proposal. And no, I apologize for the lack of organization. This piece is not needed. Don't worry about that. So let's see. First thoughts. I haven't read this until just now. So the whale conversation has been had a bunch, and it's a very interesting one. I won't go into too much of like my philosophical idea on that right now. I don't think that'll take a while. Here's what I'll say without thinking about it too much yet, is that there is arguably already a system that rewards people based on their objective participation within the layer, and that is the matter mining evaluation consensus mechanism, where if you post content that is evaluated by the community And by the community, I mean that particular layer, right? Um, to be good content, quality content. If they voted up, right, then you get paid out, and you get paid out proportionally to how well your content performed in that layer against all content from all layers in that snapshot period. Now that can get a little bit unpredictable, right? Because you might have things that perform well on one day that perform poorly on the same day the following week, just because there was some bombshell piece of announcement thing on the Dragon Chain layer or something like that. So one thing we did to help that was to add the matter tipping, which is where, if there is a piece of content where you're like, no, this is dope, I want to make sure that we get more content like this, you can tip out directly in matter, so you can at least say, okay, this person gets rewarded for their effort that they put in. And that's a community decision. That's something that is decided by brain power, by human beings. Um, the residual income that a lot holder gets for owning a layer is a percentage of how much is mined in that specific layer. So different subject a little bit. So now we're not talking about matter and competing content across the whole platform. Now we're talking about only the content inside the layer. So, for example, if I go to the layer of advice, these lot holders get passive income that is I want to say 5% of all matter generated inside of this layer, and maybe 10% of boosted posts, but some percentage of the boosted posts as well. Um, the the better the layer does, the more that 5% is worth to the owners, right? The more that's mined every day, the more passive incomes that the owners get. So I guess I would argue that that is an incentive for the owners to participate, because if you sit around and you don't do anything with your layer, um, it becomes useless and less valuable. And when you have a whole bunch of people, one of the good things about decentralized ownership is that when you have a whole bunch of people that are theoretically collaborating on it, and I get your point. More to the point, you're saying that, yeah, there's a bunch of names up here, but they're not collaborating; they're just hanging out. The idea is that the more people that step in and want to take it seriously, uh, the better managed the layer is going to be. Like, these people can spend their own money and advertise the layer if they want to bring themselves more income later on. It is on the owners to promote the layer and that kind of thing. I don't think I have an opinion about pooling the matter for the week. I know that it would definitely change the way our system is designed right now, but I don't know how much. I think about that proposal more. But I just wanted to say, think about, the mechanism or the incentive we have right now is that if you decide to bring content to the layer, bring other content creators, even if you don't want to make content yourself, you can focus on evaluating. You can focus on making sure that there are proposals for the tags that people want to see. Make sure that there's a post that is engaging people to say, hey, go, here's the reason for the new proposals. Do management stuff to make it, your version of the layer. And theoretically, as it grows, you get more passive income. I know that's not like an answer, because I just ignored what I thought about your specific proposal, but I hope that my thinking around like how I see that it's designed, and then whatever I come up with later, if I come up with a response, I hope that helps in just evaluating it anyway.
I thought it was a cool idea. It was showing like the reputation and stuff of people that own lot.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting idea, because you can own a whole bunch of lot and then like just check out and not be a part of it anymore, which is like really disheartening for people that like want to be involved and propose like governances and stuff like that.
I agree with that. Because, and we talked about this last time, and I'll use it as the same example again, but there was this whole hoopla about my buddy basically did just that. and made made graphics for it himself and everything, and really got like, yeah, maker layer. But he did not decentralize the ownership. He did not allow anyone else to be, co-owners or whatever. And now he's the only one, and he himself has just he's sitting idle, not doing anything. So it's a good example of there's still content in here. You can see it's not getting a lot of energy because there's nobody here promoting it. There's nobody like posting it on their personal profiles, on Twitter and Facebook or whatever, saying, "Come check out this thing that I made in the maker layer." There's some cool stuff in here, but it doesn't get attention because the owner of the layer is not, just like Hyperion was talking about, basically just checks out, and doesn't do anything at all to like facilitate like people wanting to be here in this layer. There's a lot that needs to be done, especially since the new governance system is in. Only that person still, since it's the same owner for all of it, even though technically, the GI proposals and stuff are decentralized, there's still a single vote for 100% of the vote. So it's still, Oh, and the thing I was going to say is, if Dragonsloth were to give out ownership, like right now, there is how many? There's 10,000 lot. So if he were to instead have 2,000 lot and give away 8,000 lot to a whole bunch of people that have been posting in this layer, who make stuff, who would probably like to have a maker layer that was active and actually managed, then his 2,000 lot would bring him way more matter points than the 10,000 lot he has right now, because his unilateral 10,000, he's not doing a whole bunch because he's busy doing other stuff. He's got a whole business to run, and he decided this was low priority. But even if he did do that, he could make a lot more money by just giving away lot to other people, letting them manage it, if he doesn't want to. So decentralization is key. The layers that have fewer owners tend to have less interesting communities, I guess.
Not being being the sole owner of a layer doesn't really seem to be like the best way to generate anything off of the layer. Yes, because I mean that tends to happen every single time that it's one person that owns the layer.
Yeah, less people interact in the layer too. Like if it's just one owner, then and also that's less energy that you're bringing in for people to get energy with, for you to get points with or whatever. Like if there's more people interacting this layer, then there's more energy to go around than just one person's opinion of, because that's probably the whale, or hypothetically. I don't know how much energy Dragonsloth has, probably not all that much, but he's not throwing any around. Nobody else is throwing any around because nobody owns anything in this. And you can post the stuff you make in other layers. So he doesn't own dibs on people making stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could post something I make in board. Hey, I was bored and made this cool thing about Den.
Or
the person that posted the Den
outdoors
thing he made for his desk. If you post that in the Den layer,
art,
he's gonna get so much more points and everything for what he did. Right.
It's also a weird way to handle the structure of Den as a whole as well, because I mean the whole point of it is divvy it out and have community interaction, just not be the sole owner of a place that you can go sit where nobody does anything.
T Swift or Die made a really good point just now that I want to hit on, which is that the layer owners are competing with other layers for content. So if there's for example, there's an art layer, and there's an NFT layer, and then there's an art NFT layer. So those three layers could potentially have some of the same content. And so there's a competition between owners too, to get people into their layer with the content. There's, for example, there's a memes layer, but there's also an Elon Musk layer that has tons of memes. And there's also a board layer and a random layer that is welcoming memes, right? So those are all competing for memes. And if the best meme content goes to the Elon Musk layer, because it's all related somehow, then the memes layer loses revenue, loses some of their passive income. So you have competition between ownership too, between lot holders.
I think there's there's a very obvious example for me is if I post the link to my improv shit or to a show in the replies of Coffee with Den, I'm gonna get more energy then going to the humor layer and making a new post that's just for my thing. My replies in something on Den,
Yep.
on the Den layer, is gonna get more attention, more clicks, and more people that are like willing to use energy, and more people one that have more energy, so they're willing to throw it around a lot more,
Right.
right?
If
And
you
you're gonna
can
get
tie
just
into
more
being
people that use the platform and value it. Like you have no idea how many times like I used to go on Reddit because I don't go on Reddit anymore, but like I used to go on Reddit and be like, I would just never upvote anything. I would just read stuff. I was a lurker, right?
Mhm.
But like on Den, especially in the Den layer, you get so many more people that are willing to throw that energy around, right? Like it's just a whole different like society from one layer to the other. So like right now, Maker is just like there's no point in even going in there because everything you could do can be somewhere else somehow.
And it's also super early. I think a lot of this is going to be it's going to feel different at scale. Whenever there's like a bunch of different people from a bunch of different time zones on Den, to where sometimes it'll be hours and there'll be nothing because everybody like the sun's over the Pacific right now and no one's awake. um, yeah, I think that's all I have on that one. Another good point that Hyperion Frequency made though is that people are not handing out lot. I'll talk and no walk. Um, I have exported the majority of my lot to Ethereum, and because of that, I cannot tip them. So I'm working on. There are 2 layers. I got a plan for that I haven't executed, but there's a couple of solutions to that. In the future, it'll be easier to move in as well as out, but right now there's a little bit of tech support required, and I think. And then on talking about the business layers earlier on, I think I'm just going to mint more lot on Den.social and just add that. That's why I'm doing that with the Gainesville layer. Like instead of going through the hassle and spending the gas fee on moving them back in, I'm just going to mint more so that I can tip them. And I might do that on the music layer especially. Music layer needs I need like 50 more owners. So I'm going to mint a bunch of music layer lot on Den.social so that I can tip them. Because again, I can't on Ethereum. We can do that, but I'm going to have to pay $100 to like send them over the Ethereum blockchain, which is I'm not going to do that right now. Sorry. So that's my excuse for not doing it as much as I say I'm going to do it, is that I just can't right now because they're all on Ethereum and I got to bring them back in.
Yeah, I think but other owners really don't do it. I've had like a couple people that have tipped me a lot for like posts and stuff like that, which has been really cool. And like those are the layers that I want to stay super active in, right?
Yeah.
But like there's other layers where I don't get that response, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm gonna just like put my time and energy into these other areas that have active owners.
That's how you're
Yeah.
going to get like really popular layers. Is other people are going to have that same, they're going to they're going to look at the same thing that you're looking at, and they're going to see the responses you get here versus there, and they're going to be like, oh, like I get interaction here, I don't there. I'm obviously going to go to the place where people talk to me.
People actually communicate, and we have a nice little back and forth.
And if you're unhappy with like how a layer is being run, you can always just start Maker layer number 2 or Christianity for Christians. I don't know. And like just start another layer and make a better version of what they have. There's nothing stopping you from doing that.
I expect that to happen more and more too, because
Exactly.
you're going to get, especially the big umbrella layers like Maker, like humor, like memes already a little bit has fragmented politics, right? So I expect at some point, this has already happened a little bit. When I first came on Den, I would get into fights with this guy Jared, who I love talking to Jared. We just disagree on so many points. And so at first, we would just at each other's throats a little bit, as if we were on Reddit, screaming at each other. But that evolved into sort of a friendship, I guess. And then after hashing out just like respectful differences, there was an offshoot of politics that was literally, I think the word that was used by the creator was to quote unquote clean up the politics layer. They started up a Donald Trump layer because I felt like, there was a lot of Trump discussion that was maybe like, yeah, it was politics, but it was just like the entire layer was, it felt like a one sided conversation. You know what I mean? And then so a community that was in politics branched off into the Donald. And so now there's two layers that are political like that. So I don't know if that's a good example or not, but I feel like that's an example of where an umbrella layer spawned off another related one because there was enough people of the one category to where they were like, hey, there's enough of us. Why don't we have our own layer?
How is that layer doing? I'm gonna go check on the Donald now.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure it's fine. I mean, they're nice people. I just think that a lot of the stuff is
Shit.
not my opinion. That's all, and that's fine. And I'm not even going to call it shit. I've had decent discussions, and I've actually gained a lot of personal knowledge of what that movement's all about. Still, hasn't converted me, but I never got the feeling I was trying to be converted on Den anyway. So that was nice. Very adult conversations, sometimes, most of the time.
That seems to be the theme across the entire platform for the most part.
Mhm.
Let's see. Now I'm checking the keyboard.
So what have we to talk about? Because I'm starting to get to the point where I feel like, it's Wednesday, and we've been yapping for about an hour and a half. And this is kind of the part of the show where I say last call for anybody that wants to come on, I guess.
Yeah, it's a good time for it.
Have anything you want to cover, to talk about before we wrap up today?
Anything even remotely been going on that I'm curious about? Let's see.
We still haven't made a lot of headway on what we want to do for the tabletop game, if we still want to do that.
That's right.
We haven't made a single headway, not one.
I have been very busy this past week, I will be honest, with my life things. So it kind of fell on the wayside. But I am doing more about it, if that helps.
Okay, so that's still on the front burner.
Do we have a day or time we want to do it?
Monday or Tuesday, I assumed.
I don't know what your lives look like.
I am free. Well, actually, with the job I'm starting, weekends off and good old anytime after 6.
Okay, after 6. And
well, you've been sick. You have the excuse that nobody's going to question, David.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but he's just like, well, what time you want to do it? I was like, this is when I'm off.
Well, I'm tentatively starting. So I'm insane. So I start way too many shows. But I'm tentatively going to start this is Coffee with Den, and so I'm thinking of a beer with Den on Monday evenings at 8 p.m. with Y'all Weird. So that might be a thing.
Yeah.
But Monday and Tuesday being my larger openings on my schedule, I would say that gaming should happen one of those days.
What if we did like so I think it could be interesting. We did like a 30-minute session during Beer with Den. So like it's just like a segment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Weird idea. I don't know if you like it or not.
About tabletop or a segment playing tabletop?
A segment playing tabletop. So it's not talking tabletop. It's like, hey, we're going to do like a 30-minute encounter, 30 minutes of like role playing in a fight scene.
That would be fine. And I think Tristan would be down for that.
It's the length of a sitcom.
Perfect.
And I figured it'd integrate it into something already. So that way we're not doing.
Yeah, because like he and I could be going off about like blockchain, and he loves charts. So that would be interesting. We would have somebody who hates charts and someone who loves charts on the same show. And then at the same time, you could be prepping for like, because you're going to have to be the DM. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
And then once we've like talked about the week's like whatever topics and got cozy, we can roll into a game for the rest of the show.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, I can make it like, I could find a way to make it somehow crypto based or something like.
Doesn't have to be.
No.
Where's that one? Let me see. there is a you know what, I'm not going to bring it up right now because I got to find it and we're live on a show and all that, but there's a really fantastic tabletop game that I've never played, but it looks really good. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah,
It's
let me know.
it's a cyberpunk themed.
Oh, that's cool.
It is not cyberpunk, the game, the tabletop game, but it is based in a custom, ground up designed cyberpunk world with like capitalism gone amok. That
With capitalism, my
Yeah.
favorite.
that typical dystopian future.
I know what you're talking about.
You mean our current timeline?
Are you doing?
Trajectory, yeah, right.
Are you doing beer with Den in person? Or are you doing that?
It's going to be like this.
Okay.
So we would have to use that tabletop simulator.
Fine.
Wait, we're
game.
doing what now?
Oh, we were just talking about Monday nights doing. I want to start a show with y'all weird called Beer with Den instead of Coffee with Den.
Oh, okay. So the evening show instead of the morning show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that would be I think it would be interesting because it would be it'd be just completely different.
It would be this, but with whatever we were doing, I guess. In that, if it was like an evening show.
Oh yeah. No, it would be with guests as well though. It would be interviews with guests. So we would bring in somebody that is interesting. Like I was talking to somebody recently who studied under Bo Diddley here in Gainesville, and is really still active with that family and knows a lot of stories from from back in the day whenever
That would be cool.
he was playing with some of the more famous bands and things like that. So we could talk to them because this guy also knew about NFTs and blockchain and stuff. So we could do a few and then we could roll into tabletops.
I was talking to y'all weird about trying to like revitalize like the music layer also, which I don't really know where we ended on that, but like we like doing like a music show as well and stuff like that.
It's gonna take me finding more owners.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta make some more lot, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, for sure. I'll do that. This week.
There you go.
What are you doing?
All right. So Gravity Crab, you got anything except for the tail end of COVID to talk about?
No, not a bit, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of along for the ride this morning.
It sounds like we're offline about how to set up our gaming efforts.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But you like beer? You could hang out and drink.
I love beer. I like beer.
Good stuff.
It's been a while since I've had an excuse to drink beer, so that'll work. Plus, let's be honest, the shows are some of the most fun things that we do here. So
I had fun with it. I'm usually awake by the end of it. I go into it like this morning. I was really dragging ass, but then I come out of it 2 hours later. Apparently, every time.
2 hours later, you're just like, oh, it's morning now.
I'm ready for a nap.
I am right where John is right now.
I've got
caffeine. If you start with caffeine and booze at the same time, coin toss.
I'm gonna go take an Adderall and a Bloody Mary and see how my day goes.
You do a line of blow as well, just to make sure that he can stay up.
Hey, I am not promoting cocaine. I'm not promoting drug or explicit drug use on that show. Okay,
or balloons.
What you do with your body is your choice. I am not here to govern your body. Okay, you do what you need to do for yourself.
You do what you need to do in the morning.
You do you, boo boo. All right, guys, we should hang it up, shouldn't we?
Yeah,
so
we definitely
I think you should plug the competition one last time at the end of the show.
That's a good point. So we got a brand new competition. We just came up with it. Thanks to who was it that suggested a competition?
That was John, I think. Oh no, John came up with the competition.
John can't take credit for suggesting it in the first place. No. There was the settings, then there was this, then there was that, then there was. It's in here. Here we go. Contest. So thank you, Guitar Tom 31 for the suggestion. So what we're going to do is we are going to use the humor layer in our contest, and humor is spelled HUMOR. So you'll find it in the H section under history in the list of layers. And so post something in here, get a bunch of points, win the contest. Next week, we're going to look back into the humor layer and we're going to see who has gotten the most points. energy points in there. So if we go right now, we can see that the top post was from 19 hours ago from Bet by the Coin, who found something funny. I haven't looked at it. I'll have to see if I can stop crying.
I couldn't stop crying. Doesn't sound immediately funny.
It probably is, though. Hold on. Beep, beep, beep. Oh,
You have it. You have it as us as the screen. I don't know if you're trying to show the screen. Or not.
Oh, yeah, I do that.
What is this?
I do that, don't I? Yeah. So a baby bassinet, identical to hospital type, only with 2 drawers, gently. Oh, so this is for sale. Okay. And it's on a thing. That's no wheels.
Oh my god, this is.
Oh, this is someone's business. Oh, someone couldn't do math. So there's this whole thread full of people's personal conversation. All right.
Oh, I like the part Bryson and I did it unprotected the morning of, and it's just like, all right, yeah.
Why would you tell us that?
You know how babies are made. Good
Well,
job.
Maybe because she's trying to convince somebody that it's his. I don't know. Who knows? But there's your competition, though. For the competition is
There you go.
right now top dog is BitBuy.
I'm not gonna lie, this person Judy in this comment thing from the thing that BitBuy put has such a good thing here. It's just like, you just found out you're 22 weeks pregnant. I know you've had a bush light in your hand every minute of those 22 weeks. Jesus.
Stuff like that will get you points, apparently. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming it's funny. I haven't read it, but
It's
beat
pretty
that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Beat that. Beat 4.5. This one doesn't count because it was 19 hours ago, so it was before the start of the competition. The competition starts now. Yeah, and then we're gonna give away. What are we gonna give away? I'll let y'all decide. What are we gonna give away to the winner? Whoever has the most energy in the humor layer next week. What are we gonna give them?
Well, we have a mountain of merch.
Oh, we do have a mountain of merch.
We could
I
always
could
just
give
do
away.
I think merch is like a fun thing, right?
Maybe a neat giveaway item too. I mean, like,
Yeah,
we can tip them out a little bit of matter or
Yeah,
something. that
and
we can
speaking
also
of
do.
merch, have you guys been to Mars or
Mm.
seen Mars? It's no, that was a weird callback to before.
Yeah,
we
call.
went
I was like,
to
are we
Mars.
going back that far?
I was like going merch to Mars instead.
Yeah.
Like, we're going back again.
Is this
You know what?
a
Humor
joke?
doesn't always work. It's
Episodes
not.
ago?
It's not always a thing.
John, you're
Sometimes
super
it hits,
insane
sometimes it
character.
doesn't. There it is.
But yeah, we could do merch. The thing is, with merch, I would have to like coordinate over email or something. But yeah, we can do merch, and I'll give you 100 matter. How's that? 100
That's
matter.
probably a pretty good one.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? Know what we should do? We should hit up Joe Dragon or I am whatever the thing before.
I
and
am.
be like,
before I am.
winner is gonna get some lot in humor.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Oh
Actually.
yeah, I'll have to see where to acquire the lot from because we
Yeah.
can't just willy nilly.
We can.
I think that'll
we
work
can.
out.
We can contact the person that popped in here that's got humor lot that was talking about potentially spreading some of it around, or we were talking about them potentially doing that. I think we said something about that, but
We should try and have we should try and get Joe or the other guy on the show next week, so that way they can like evaluate the one in their fucking lair.
Well, here's what we'll do is we will we between now and then we'll figure out what the prize is, and then we'll put that up in the post. But
It's gonna be a real good, real sexy prize. Okay, you're gonna want it.
it's going to be at least 100 matter, if not also some merch and maybe some lot.
should
100
totally
matter.
be some merch.
100 matter. That's like $9 million. Like
It's like $9 million.
it's got potential. It's got potential to be $9 million. Think about it.
We'll make it. We'll make you rich in the future.
It already is in some multiverse representation of ourselves. That's where it's at.
You don't
In
know.
some,
You
some
can't
strange
disprove it.
timeline branch.
Yeah, you can't disprove it, world. You can't disprove it. It has to be true.
Let's just hope we don't have a dragon break.
So yeah, go win the contest, and we'll pick a winner next week. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Same time every week, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Quick reminder: there's a governance call every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. That is where we go over the governance of Den. Some of the topics we talked about today could be gone into more depth. In fact, with Hyperion Frequencies question, we probably will mention it again. It's worth talking about. It's squarely in the governance wheelhouse. So more stuff like that over there. World Blockchain Roundtable is on Thursdays also. That's 11 a.m. That is not Den or Dragon Chain related. It is just open to questions about a particular topic and blockchain in general. And then Den and Dragon Chain specific again, though, is on Tuesdays. There's a Super Happy Dragon Lucky Show Tuesdays at 11 a.m. So, yeah. From memory, I think I got them all right.
I think you did. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah,
So
I think you're right.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. We will have a winner of that contest. We will hand out some money, and I'll figure out how to get merch to people. So that's
You're welcome, VKB. Just so you pop up in there and say thanks for having us, have you slide in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and good morning once again, everybody else. Thank you, Swift or Die. Thank you, Gravity Crab. Any last words? That's it, right?
Yeah, I think
Last word.
All right, last words. Bye, y'all. See you next time. Cheers.
See ya.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable,